Hello again, welcome to Shed Talk, my weekly magazine video series looking at the keeping, breeding and showing of caged birds with a particular focus on the exhibition style budgerigar. And indeed this week the main focus will be the budgerigars, because we're going to continue on from the last episode where we looked at how I make decisions about pairing up, and we'll look at the first 4 pairs that I'm going to put in the breeding cage. If you missed the last episode where I went through how I work through the process of pairing up and which birds I'm going to pair to which, then I will leave a link across the top of the screen over there, I think it's going to be, to that video, so you can go and have a look at that. I'm not going to run through that process again. This week what we'll do is we will get the birds out and have a quick look at the pairs that I'm pairing up for, like I say, the first 4 birds. It's likely to be a slightly shorter episode this week, partly because I was away over the weekend and that set me behind a little bit in terms of just general maintenance and looking after the shed and all the rest of that stuff. So of course keeping the birds clean and keeping the shed clean and hygienic is a priority above doing the video. So as I say, slightly shorter, likely to be a slightly shorter video this week. We will get the birds out, we will look at them, and I may talk a little bit at the end about what's going out in the other flight, but it's unlikely we'll get a chance to actually go out there and look at that. So I've got the programs open, ready to log all the information as I go through this, my breeding record card and also my database, my breeding database. The record card that I use, which basically is almost a card for each of the cages, but also then a card in terms of when eggs are laid and when they're due to hatch and so on and so forth. That is available over on the Shed Talk Facebook page if you want to go and have a look over there. It's like I say, it's just a Google spreadsheet, free to download, free to use if you want to download it and use it. If you're having problems with that, do let me know in the comments. But like I say, that's what I use. We'll get the birds out now. While I'm doing that, if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, then please do so. If you enjoy the videos, hit a like, and of course don't forget to comment on anything you see in this video or any other video. Right, let's get these birds out and let's have a look at the first 4 pairs. So this is the first planned pair, and it's the outcross dominant pied. This is, so the cockbird is quite an old bird, if you remember rightly, and I said I'm probably only going to get 1 season off him. So what I thought I would do here was find him a hen that's proven, so a proven hen, and the hen on the left, the cinnamon light green hen, is the hen that bred really well with the cobalt. Now you may remember that when she was paired to the cobalt, she actually produced some quite nice light greens. So I know she contains, so when she was with the cobalt at least, the genes merged really well and actually produced my best hen of last year. So one, I'm hoping that, I know that she's a fertile hen and breeds well when she's in the breeding cage. I know she can produce, with the right cockbird, some quite nice offspring. So I'm hoping that this will prove successful. So, you know, a proven hen with this cockbird will, you know, if I don't get anything off of this pair, if all the eggs are infertile, then I know that's down to the cockbird. But touch wood, you know, touch wood, we will get something off of this pair, and I'll be able to use the nice features of this dominant pied outcross, and then begin to put them back into the main, the other main families. In terms of this particular family, when the hen was with the cobalt, you'll remember that we called it the blue family, but she's actually off of the yellow face family. So with any luck we might we will put her back into that yellowface group. The offspring of this will then be bred back into the yellowface grouping. Although we may, you know, think about whether or not later on, further down the line, we could put the offspring to some of her the youngsters that she bred last year, and they'll be sort of half brother and sister. So there we go. This is going to be pair 1, and they're going into the cage 1. They're actually not a bad match in all honesty. She does have some nice big spots, nice reasonable spots that will help him a little bit. Anyway, that is pair 1 then. I'll get those in the cage. And pair 2 is the other outcross, the Lutino. I've paired this to an opaline cinnamon light green. Now I wanted to pair it to a green, a light green, just to keep the Lutino bit in there. And I've never bred Lutinos, so I probably need, if anybody out there is an experienced Lutino breeder, let me know what the best colour is to put them to. You'll notice that the hen, while she's quite a broad hen, a bit narrow in the head but broad shouldered and quite a nice mask, she is ticked, and I'm hoping the INO gene in the cockbird will reduce the amount of ticking or possibility of ticking any of the offspring. Of course, all of the hens or any hens produced will be INO, so they should be Lutinos, and any of the cocks produced will be split for INO. So, but again, I'm hoping that, you know, if the cocks are a little bit ticked, then I will use those back into the to try and produce more Lutinos or INO birds. So this is the second pairing. The hen is not a proven hen. She was in the breeding cage last year but showed no signs of going down to breed, but she's in really good condition at the moment in terms of breeding condition, or appears to be. So I'm hoping this time round, a year older, she's a 2022 bred bird, so was perhaps just a fraction too young last year to want to go down, but she's in, you know, I think she's in good breeding condition at the moment, and I'm hoping this pair will bond and we can get a few offspring off of this INO. So again, I don't know. I mean, she's a broad bird, shows quite a good width of shoulder, whereas he's quite a long bird, so perhaps that will help those two together. But I was desperately trying to find something for this hen to go to, and trying to find a hen for this Lutino. So, and this just felt right when I looked at it on paper, and also when I popped them in the cage, I could see no reason why not to put these two together. Anyway, this is going to be my pair 2 of the first that are going to go down, so they will go into cage 2. So the pair 3, another outcross. So this is the Watts outcross cockbird, a opaline cinnamon sky blue, and I'm pairing him to a grey, yellowface grey, sorry, hen. The hen is a 2021 bird, and obviously this bird here is actually off of the grey family. So we're getting these two in the cage early. As with all of these birds that are going in early, it's mainly because of the hens that I want to get down this year. My main focus hens are all still a little bit young, so I'm having to find birds to pair up early. Some of these, in particular this Watts bird, I think I'm going to pop him in probably in February with one of the Cobalt's offspring. So this is, as I say, going to be my pair number 3. She's looking very scruffy at the moment. There's a whole load of these birds are going through the molt, but she is just coming into breeding condition. So despite the fact that she looks all scruffy, she is in condition, and I'm hoping that within the next week or two, certainly within the next week, or the next 2 weeks, sorry, she'll be in prime condition for breeding. Again, I've matched these on paper and I see no reason not to pair them up once I've seen them in the breeding cage. So there we go, that's pair 3. So we'll just look at the final pair that we're going to pair up this week once I pop these into the breeding cage. And so the final pair that we're going to put down this week, and so the final pair that we're going to look at in this episode is this cobalt. This is the cobalt that bred really well last year. Again, another bird that looks a bit scruffy. And we're going to pair him to this opaline cinnamon yellow-faced grey. I think the yellow-faced grey, probably because she's opaline, has got some much bigger spots. So I'm hoping that bringing those bigger spots into this family will help, into the blue family. You may remember I said it was a bit of an issue for them. I'm hoping to get this cobalt down a couple of times this breeding season. This will be the first hen that I will put him with. You may get a chance with another hen later on. We will have to wait and see how well he does. I was umming and ahhing about this, putting the cobalt down, because you may remember we were going to show this bird, but he never seemed quite right in himself. He seems fine in the flight, not showing any real problems. He's looking a bit sorry for himself now. I've popped him in here, but then he has just been had a dose of spot on treatment, and I've pulled around the vent. There was no sign of the vent being mucky or anything, so I don't know. It was a little bit like this in the breeding cage last year, where he seemed to spend a little while just looking very sorry for himself, but bred really well. So touch wood, we will have the same thing this year. Clearly, if he doesn't, show any signs of being interested, because perhaps he is a little bit under the weather, we'll take him out and give her another cockbird, a different cockbird. We'll wait and see. Anyway, that's the final of the 4 pairs we're going to be putting down this week, and this of course is the first pair that is completely mine. All the others have been out crosses. I do have another couple of pairs to go in the final 2 breeding cages. I'm still wondering whether or not to grab another 2 breeding cages. I'll see what I've got at the moment in terms of the birds going down before I do that. If it looks like I'm struggling for breeding cages, I'll get another 2 to keep up. So there we go. Pair number 4, this cobalt with this opaline cinnamon yellow face grey. And of course will be part of the blue family. So that is the first 4 pairs then. They're all in the breeding cages that are behind me now. So the first 4 of the breeding cages that are behind me. In terms of, I know quite often there's a discussion about how you put the birds, how you move the birds into the breeding cages. Do you put the cockbird in first, the hen in first, and such, or both in together? So as a general rule, I tend to put both the birds in the breeding cage at the same time if they're both ready. I've never found any difference in anything around which one of the birds you do put in first. I've never noticed that any particular way works any better for me than any other way. Other people will have different views and may find difference to that. So if I do want to put one of the birds in first, generally it would be the hen, and I would let the hen settle down before I put the cockbird in. But like I say, in this case I've put both birds in the breeding cage at the same time, and I know I mention this every year when I start pairing up. In terms of that process, that when they're in there, the nest boxes at the moment are turned around. I use the box-in-box type nest box, and what I do is I turn the inner bit around so the hen can't get immediate access to the nest box. Why do I do this? Because I've always done it. That's the first thing. The second thing, I have this view that by closing the nest box off, the hen begins to show an interest in it and starts gnawing on the hole at on the outside, and that actually helps stimulate her into breeding condition. When she's starting to do that, I find the cockbird then begins to find a little bit of interest in the hen. I only do it for about 2, 3, maybe 4 days, no more than that. After that, I will open the nest box up and let the hen go in. I may, if the hen's showing no interest at all, leave it closed off for a little bit longer. But generally, 2 to 4 days, I find I can then turn the nest box around. And in most cases, the hen will either go straight in there, or certainly within a couple of days, will go into the nest box. Touch wood. So that's that process. In the breeding cage, I have the normal seed. I use a budgerigars mix from Hayes. I said that all the time. I'm not, I don't get anything from Hayes, but I've just found that particular seed mix works for me. So that will be in the main feed that they will get. They will get water changed every day. In each of the breeding cages is a small dish containing a mixture of grit and forgot what it's called now. Grit and charcoal, that's what it is, charcoal. Oh, I clean forgot there, must be an age thing, getting old. So grit and charcoal in there. The hens are the main ones that attack the grit. And I then have my soft food, and within the soft food mix I put the calcium supplement. So the calcium supplement is actually in the soft food mix, not in the water. Why do I do that? Mainly because I'm changing the water almost every day, if not every day, and I find I waste it. Whereas in the soft food mix, in most cases, that goes completely, so they're getting the calcium there. I don't use cuttlefish unless I'm given some free, and then I will put it in there. I find they just make a mess with it all over the floor. But again, other people will recommend cuttlefish. Just me, I prefer to use a basic calcium powder, animal grade calcium powder, that will go in the soft food. The other thing they get in the cage is a small dish of tonic seed. This just helps boost condition. So I forgot to mention, also in the soft food, I will use the Breed Max White in there, just to help bring them in condition. And I may occasionally put some wheat germ oil in there, which I understand also, canary breeders will use it quite a lot to help boost the fertility in the cockbirds. So that's what I use in the breeding cages. I've been through it before. So like I say, they're all in there, and excitement, the beginning of the breeding season. So there we are. What we'll talk very quickly about is what's going on outside in the outside flight. We won't go out there, as I say. I'm a bit pushed for time when making this video. So I'm pleased to say that two of the zebrafinch chicks have now left the nest box and are out. I'm now about to take down the remainder of the nest boxes now. If there's any other chicks in there, I will push them out, and they will be old enough to get about. Both the chicks were feather plucked in there. I suspect some of this may well be that the hen zebra is waiting to go down again. So I will take the nest boxes out, and that should prevent her from carrying on feather plucking those two chicks. Once they're out and able to move around, I find it's less of a problem anyway. So, because the nest boxes in there will be taken down, and I will then, the second bit of that is I will then start moving some of the fifes that I'm not planning to show, and certainly the hens, into the large flight to give them a bit of exercise, get a bit of weight off them, and get them ready for the winter period. So once they finish molting out, I will move them into there and do that. So that's the outside flight all dealt with. Next episode, hopefully we'll get out there and have a good look at, you know, what I've done out there and what is still going on with the zebras and the fives. Well, that is just about it for this episode. Interestingly enough, the you may remember if when I was showing the pairing up, the the hen that I was putting to the lutino, the one that was slightly tipped, and I said at the time that she last year didn't show any signs, any inclination of wanting to go down to breed, showing lots of interest in the nest box already. Almost as soon as I put her in there, she was on the outside of it and trying to get into it. So, you know, touch wood, early good signs, hopefully, that she's now in better condition and is ready to go down. So that might be a nest box I turn around at the 2-day point, almost certainly. So, and we'll need to keep an eye on whether the lutino is interested in her. Funny enough, she kept going over to him and he sort of backed away. I think she has been a little bit aggressive in the flight to the cockbirds whenever they show any interest. So maybe he's just a bit wary of her at the moment. Anyway, we'll have to wait and see about that. The other thing is, I just thought I'd mention this, quite exciting, a bit nervous. I have my very first judging engagement at the end of this week. So on Sunday, I think, so I've been asked to go up and judge at High Wycombe Cage Bird Society, to judge the budgies up there, which I was very pleased to accept. I expect this is because their show is on at the same time as the Budgerigar Society World Championship, or the main Budgerigar Society show, and almost all the judges that would have been available for that show are probably up there, either showing up there or up there visiting up there. However, it was an honour to be asked to do that, and I can only hope that I will do the birds justice for the people or the members who are bringing their birds along to that show. If I get a chance, what I will do is get a few pictures of all of the birds that are there at the High Wycombe. It's their young bird show, so I will try and get a few pictures of some of their birds in the afternoon after I've finished judging, and I will obviously do the highlights of that in probably the next video or the video after that, depending on how quickly I can get round to it. So, like I say, that's all we've got time for. As always, do hit the like button, do comment, do share, do subscribe if you haven't already done so, but most importantly, do stay safe and enjoy your birds.